Hello YouTube, we're back again to check out two of the top phones on the market at the moment. We've got the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6s. Now they look very similar, so when you go into the phone shop and are deciding to buy, you need to work out, is the 6s worth that extra cash? We're going to do a few tests. We're going to test speed, camera and battery to work out if all the extra bits like the 12 megapixel camera, 3D touch, live photos are really worth the upgrade or whether you're good enough to stick with the iPhone 6. So firstly we're looking at speed. There's two different chipsets on use here. We've got the A8 chip in the iPhone 6 and the A9 chip in the iPhone 6s. What we're going to do is we're going to start them both from boot. We're going to run 10 apps you'll use day to day. So there's social networking, there's gaming, there's eBay. And we're going to see how quickly that takes to do one lap. Then we'll go around again to see how well they've cached, held in the background, and you'll get a really good sense of which one's the fastest on test. So the iPhone 6s is finished, and that's pretty much what we expected. There's twice as much RAM on offer, so it should be faster. Let's see how much longer the iPhone 6 takes to catch up. So the iPhone 6 is finished, and it's 20 seconds behind. Is that a lot? Actually yes, and in terms of it being worth the upgrade, you're going to get a lot snappier phone with the iPhone 6s. That means every time you press an app, it's going to be quicker. Over the course of the day, that's really going to bear out and be a real boon for you when you're looking for a new phone. In real-term use, that means the difference between not getting an Uber at the last dregs of battery and actually making it. So depending on how much you want to spend to get that extra speed, the iPhone 6s definitely has a real upgrade to it. So we're looking at two cameras. The iPhone 6s has 12 megapixels, the iPhone 6 8 megapixels. So let's compare them and see how they work. We've done a variety of shots here, from macro to low light to low angle, and we're going to really see the differences between the two cameras. So let's start with a standard outside shot. As you can see here, this is fairly well lit, well balanced, and there's not a lot of difference between the two of them. On the right hand side, the 6s has a little bit more contrast, but both photos look pretty good and quite sharp. So if we look at these with 100% zoom, you're seeing the difference with the iPhone 6s on the right. There's a lot more contrast, everything looks a little less blown out, there's a lot more detail, and colours look a little bit richer. We're taking things to the macro, and that's where the differences between these two cameras really comes in. The focusing abilities of the iPhone 6s are just that much better. The focus pixels are really improved, and you can get some really close-up, tight shots and get an incredible amount of detail compared to the iPhone 6, which really struggles to focus at close-up. One of the things Apple's done with the 6s sensor is work very hard on its low light abilities, which mean you'll get more light in when things are really dark. What we've done here is take the exposure right down to the bottom, and you can see the light on the right just is clearer. There's so much more information coming through, and that's one of the real benefits you'll get if you upgrade to the 6s. We would never advise that you zoom in too much within a phone camera, but if you're going to do it, it makes sense to have more megapixels. And as you can see here, the 6s has got a better picture simply because there's more information. It's brighter, there's less processing, and overall it's a smoother image. We're into the narcissistic selfie mode now, and one of the key differences between the 6s and the 6 is that the iPhone 6s has a retina flash. What that means is the screen will flash to 3 times the brightness of the normal display, and that creates a pseudo flash effect. As you can see, the picture on the right is so much clearer, it's in focus, there's much less noise going on, so if you are taking lots of pictures in dingy clubs, this is a great upgrade to go for. The key question here, is the 6s camera really that much of an upgrade over the 6? Well, there are more megapixels, but overall, not really. Unless you're taking loads of really dark selfies or zooming in loads, the camera pictures are looking very similar. It's because both have got a very good sensor automatically, so if you're looking for a run-of-the-mill camera, you can get away with the 6 quite happily. And finally, the battery test. Let's see how well the power packs work in each of these phones. We've got them both fully charged up to 100%, Bluetooth's on, screen brightness is up, and we're going to run a web browsing script which just cycles around a selection of websites over and over until they die. So let's see how they get on. So we're an hour and 30 minutes in right now, which you'd imagine would be about the halfway point here, but the iPhone 6 is down to 37%, whereas the iPhone 6s is doing really well with 46%. So here are the results, 2 hours 23:59 for the iPhone 6 and 2 hours 42:29 for the iPhone 6s. You're probably thinking that doesn't sound like a lot for a test like this, but this is really intensive, and that's about an 8 to 10% increase for the iPhone 6s. When you think about it, the iPhone 6s actually has a smaller battery, so for any increase is quite impressive. It shows the processor's faster, it's more efficient. Does that matter to you though day to day? In reality, no, these two phones will last pretty much the same. They're not great, they're not stellar, but they'll do just about a day for you in normal use. So that's the end of our test. We've looked at speed, we've looked at camera, we've looked at battery, and the question you're left with is, Does the 6S really warrant the upgrade? The answer is, well, no, not really. I mean, there are some marginal upgrades, so the camera's slightly better, the battery will last slightly longer, and the speed is a little bit better, but it's only marginal. So if you're thinking of spending that extra money, you're going to have to really want the fancy features. You want the 3D touch, you want live photos, and if that doesn't matter to you, you'll be perfectly happy with the iPhone 6. Yeah, it won't last as long perhaps over its lifetime, but overall, they're very similar phones and you'll be happy with both. Thanks very much for watching, and please do comment below and let us know what you want to see in the next Versus pieces. We do check every single comment to see what you're thinking. Thanks very much for subscribing, and adios.